No,
because she's just very judgmental.
Now that Tristan is gone, maybe Chloe could be free to go out and have fun.
Are you having sex?
I wouldn't think so, to be honest.
You feel like you're managing anxiety better in your life?
I want to say something. Like, I watched the show back and I'm just like, I talk about the same thing over and over again. But I'm not boring. And ask any one of my best friends. I am a good time, okay?
We all want to congratulate Courtney and Travis.
This is the best blessing in the world, but it's a high-risk pregnancy. Mom.
Hi, sweetheart.
This is really crazy. I just want Courtney to be okay.
I had to go in for fetal surgery, which was terrifying.
I had my scan. They found a cyst and like a little tumor.
The courtroom was dead silent. Cameras weren't even allowed inside, but somehow the entire world felt the shockwave of what Kourtney Kardashian had just confessed. One line, just a few trembling words, and everything people thought they knew about her perfect life with Travis Barker exploded into chaos. Travis Barker is not Rocky's father. Those words echoed through every entertainment headline, social feed, and gossip column within hours. The woman everyone saw as calm, grounded, and finally happy had just torn down the very image she'd built for years. Fans who had followed every post, every pregnancy update, every romantic photo shoot were left speechless. This wasn't just a family issue anymore. It was a legal earthquake that could rewrite her entire future. Reports say even the judge was visibly stunned as Courtney broke down in tears, admitting she had lied about her baby's paternity from the very beginning. The story she had maintained for months, the one the world celebrated, was suddenly exposed as a facade. No one could believe it. Not her fans, not her family, and definitely not Travis. The revelation hit harder because it came in the middle of a heated custody battle, a battle Courtney was already losing. Now, this confession didn't just damage her case. It may have destroyed it completely. Hollywood insiders were quick to react, calling it the biggest Kardashian shock in years. But beneath the drama, one question echoed louder than all the rest. Why now? Why would Courtney choose this moment, when everything was already on the line, to drop the truth that could ruin her relationship, her reputation, and maybe even her freedom? Because what came next made it clear this wasn't just a confession. It was the start of something far darker. For years, Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker sold the image of a perfect, untouchable love story. From their lavish wedding in Italy to those emotional pregnancy reveals that broke the internet, it all seemed straight out of a Hollywood fairy tale. Fans gushed over their connection, the rock star and the reality queen, both finding peace and passion after chaotic pasts. Every photo, every caption screamed, soulmates. And when Courtney finally announced she was pregnant with baby Rocky, it felt like the ultimate happy ending. But behind the glossy Instagram filters, things weren't as perfect as they looked. Sources close to the couple had whispered for months that their relationship was far more fragile than anyone knew. Travis's touring schedule, Courtney's health scares, and the constant media attention had taken a toll. Her pregnancy was classified as high risk, forcing her into surgeries and hospital stays that terrified her entire family. Cameras showed her smiling through it all, but off-screen she was reportedly anxious, exhausted, and emotionally distant. Still, she pushed the narrative of unity and love. She wanted the world to see her as the calm, matured Kardashian, the one who finally found forever. Yet even in those moments of public joy, insiders say there were cracks. Arguments behind closed doors, growing tension over trust, and whispers that something didn't quite add up. Still, no one could have guessed what was really brewing beneath the surface, that a secret so massive was waiting to detonate. A secret that would turn their story from romantic bliss into a courtroom nightmare. Because while the world celebrated their blessing, Courtney was hiding something that could destroy everything. And the deeper we look, the clearer it becomes. That fairy tale family the world adored, it might never have existed at all. While the world saw a glowing soon-to-be mom, insiders now claim Kourtney Kardashian was living a double life, one built on fear, guilt, and a desperate attempt to keep her fairy tale from crumbling. According to multiple reports, during a rough patch in her relationship with Travis Barker, Courtney allegedly reconnected with someone from her past, a man whose identity remains a mystery, but whose presence would soon change everything. It wasn't love, sources insist. It was confusion, loneliness, and emotional chaos during one of the most vulnerable periods of her life. But that brief encounter had lasting consequences. Not long after, Courtney discovered she was pregnant. At first, she reportedly convinced herself it was Travis's child. But when doubts began creeping in, the truth became too heavy to bear. She didn't know how to deal with it, one insider revealed. She was terrified of losing Travis and destroying the life they were building together. Instead of facing the truth, she buried it. even from her closest friends and family. For months, she smiled through interviews, photo shoots, and baby announcements, hiding the one fact that could shatter her world. Travis, meanwhile, seemed blissfully unaware or perhaps willfully blind. Publicly, he called Kourtney his rock. Privately, rumors say he sensed something was off, but never pressed too hard. Maybe he didn't want to know. Maybe he needed the illusion as much as she did. Still, secrets like that don't stay buried forever. The guilt reportedly began eating at Kourtney, especially as the custody fight heated up. Every court document, every sworn statement made the lie heavier to carry, until one day she couldn't take it anymore. And in a single trembling moment, she let it all spill. Because when the truth finally surfaced in court, it didn't just expose her secret, it tore apart everything she'd been trying to protect. The tension inside the Los Angeles courtroom that day was electric. Like everyone could feel something massive was about to happen. Kourtney Kardashian, usually composed and camera-ready, looked pale and fragile as she took the stand. Reporters say she could barely make eye contact with anyone, not even Travis Barker, who sat just a few feet away, arms crossed and jaw tight. What began as a routine custody hearing was about to turn into one of the most shocking celebrity moments of the decade. When Kourtney started speaking, her voice trembled. She paused several times, tears forming before she finally whispered the words that would echo around the world. "I'm sorry, but Travis Barker is not Rocky's father." For a moment, no one moved. Even the judge reportedly froze. Then chaos. Gasps, murmurs, lawyers whispering to clients, and cameras waiting outside going into overdrive. The confession wasn't just unexpected. It completely flipped the narrative of the case. According to insiders, Travis's expression went from confusion to disbelief, then anger. He leaned back, eyes wide, as if trying to process the enormity of what he'd just heard. Kourtney, breaking down, continued through tears, admitting she had lied about Rocky's paternity since the very beginning. She said she was scared, ashamed, and desperate to hold her family together. She even admitted that Travis had agreed to play along at first, a claim that instantly complicated everything. Legal experts in the courtroom were stunned. By confessing, Kourtney didn't just destroy her custody chances. She potentially opened herself up to perjury and fraud charges. Every sworn statement she'd made before was now in question. The judge adjourned the session immediately, calling for a recess as lawyers scrambled. What was supposed to be a fight for her child's custody had now turned into a full-blown legal disaster. And for Travis Barker, who had just been painted as either a victim or a co-conspirator, his entire image was suddenly on the line too. As Kourtney's shocking confession echoed across Hollywood, all eyes turned to one man: Travis Barker. The rock star known for his calm, stoic demeanor was suddenly at the center of a scandal that could redefine his entire public image. Witnesses in court described him as stone-faced, but those close to him say that beneath that composure, he was crushed. To hear the woman he loved admit she had lied about something as sacred as the paternity of their child was nothing short of devastating. For Travis, it wasn't just about betrayal, it was about humiliation. But almost immediately, questions began swirling online. Did Travis really not know? Some fans were quick to defend him, calling him the victim of an unforgivable deception. Others weren't so sure. Rumors began spreading that Travis had known the truth all along, that he'd agreed to keep up appearances to protect Kourtney's image and avoid public scandal. Entertainment insiders suggested that the couple may have had an unspoken deal: maintain the illusion of a perfect family no matter what. If that's true, then Kourtney's courtroom confession didn't just betray Travis, it exposed him. Now both are under a microscope. Every interview, every past statement, every affectionate social media post is being dissected for clues. Was his love genuine, or was it all an act? And if he knew, how deep was he involved in keeping this secret? Travis is in a delicate position, says one Hollywood journalist. If he was truly blindsided, people will sympathize with him. But if it turns out he was complicit, his credibility and integrity are done. Regardless of what's true, the damage is already spreading. The couple's once envied image of unity has shattered. Fans who once idolized them are now divided, unsure who to trust. But as the dust settled from the courtroom explosion, another twist was already brewing, one that would drag a new man into the chaos and make this scandal even messier. Just when it seemed the situation couldn't get any more chaotic, a new figure entered the picture, the man rumored to be Rocky's real biological father. The tabloids didn't have his name at first, just whispers of a mysterious ex-flame from Kourtney's past who had suddenly resurfaced. According to insiders, this man had been trying to contact Kourtney for weeks, demanding that the truth come out before he took legal action to claim his parental rights. Some say his patience finally ran out, forcing Kourtney to make that explosive confession in court before he did it himself. Behind closed doors, sources claim the mystery man wasn't after fame. He wanted recognition. He allegedly wanted a relationship with his son, something that could never happen as long as the world believed Travis Barker was the father. Entertainment reporters say Kourtney's team scrambled to handle the situation, but it was too late. Once the man's legal representatives started preparing documents, Kourtney had no choice but to face reality. Her confession, shocking as it was, might have been her last attempt to control the narrative before someone else did. Meanwhile, the the public went into detective mode. Reddit threads lit up with speculation. Fans analyzing every past photo, every cryptic caption, and every timeline discrepancy. Who was this man? Was he a celebrity? An old friend? Or someone the Kardashians hoped the world would never hear about? The theories were endless, some ridiculous, others disturbingly plausible. As for Travis, reports say he's furious but also oddly quiet, perhaps on the advice of his lawyers. Because now the story isn't just about betrayal. It's about legal rights, DNA tests, and the unraveling of a brand built on image. And the arrival of this mysterious man didn't just expose a lie. It turned a family drama into a full-blown war for the truth, one that no one, not even Kourtney, can fully control anymore. The confession didn't just make headlines, it detonated inside the courtroom like a legal grenade. Overnight, what had been a complicated custody dispute turned into one of the most shocking celebrity legal battles of the decade. Lawyers rushed to file emergency motions, the judge ordered new hearings, and both Kourtney and Travis were suddenly facing consequences neither had imagined. Legal experts were quick to weigh in. Kourtney's admission wasn't just embarrassing, it could be considered perjury, since she had previously testified under oath that Travis was Rocky's biological father. In family court, that kind of deception isn't just frowned upon, it's a felony. Attorney Emily Parker, a well-known family law specialist, told reporters, "This confession could change everything. It undermines her credibility, her custody claims, and her public image all at once." Judges take honesty seriously, and she's just admitted to lying on the record. The fallout was immediate. The judge temporarily suspended the custody ruling, hinting that the entire case might need to restart from scratch. That means months, maybe even years, of new hearings, DNA testing, and emotional warfare. And it doesn't stop there. Sources say prosecutors are quietly reviewing whether to pursue fraud or false declaration charges against Kourtney for falsifying paternity. If that happens, she could face not just legal penalties, but total public humiliation. The Kardashian brand has survived plenty. Divorces, scandals, even leaked footage. But this is different. This is legal. This is about integrity, motherhood, and the law. Meanwhile, Travis's camp is reportedly furious, feeling blindsided and betrayed. His lawyers are said to be exploring their own legal recourse, possibly even suing for emotional damages if evidence shows Kourtney intentionally misled him. It's a storm with no clear winner, because in this mess, everyone's reputation is bleeding. But the courtroom chaos was just one side of the disaster. Outside those walls, the internet was exploding, and public opinion was far harsher than any judge could ever be. The moment Kourtney's confession hit the news, social media went into complete meltdown. Twitter threads, TikTok breakdowns, and YouTube reactions flooded timelines within hours. Hashtags like Haas Kourtney lied and Rocky drama trended worldwide, while fans split into two furious camps, those who felt betrayed and those who still tried to defend her. On one side were people calling her deceit the ultimate betrayal, claiming she had lied to her partner, the court, and the public. On the other, her loyal supporters argued that she was a mother under pressure, forced into impossible choices by fame, fear, and the media spotlight. Some fans pointed out that Kourtney had always seemed emotionally fragile during her pregnancy. They remembered her fainting spells, the emergency surgery, the tearful moments on the Kardashians. She was terrified, one fan wrote. It doesn't excuse lying, but it makes her human. Others weren't as forgiving. She built her brand on authenticity, one critic commented. And now we find out it was all a performance. The debate raged on, with every tabloid and talk show weighing in, dissecting her motives and replaying courtroom footage like it was a movie trailer. Even celebrities started chiming in, some showing empathy, others throwing subtle shade. Anonymous insiders close to the family told TMZ that Kris Jenner was furious behind closed doors, worried not just about Kourtney's future, but about how this scandal could drag the entire Kardashian name through the mud. After all, this wasn't just a rumor. It was sworn testimony, a confession on record. Meanwhile, online audiences turned the whole mess into spectacle. Memes, reaction videos, and wild conspiracy theories flooded Reddit and TikTok. But beneath the laughter and gossip, there was a darker question everyone seemed to ignore. What about the baby? Because while fans were busy picking sides, a child's life was being turned upside down, and the consequences of this scandal were only just beginning. Amid the chaos, one heartbreaking truth stood out. The only person truly innocent in this entire scandal was baby Rocky. While tabloids chased headlines and fans debated loyalty, a child was caught in the middle of a storm that no kid should ever be a part of. Psychologists and child advocates quickly stepped in, urging both sides to stop turning the case into a media circus. Rocky's emotional well-being must come before fame or damage control, said Dr. Olivia Flores, a well-known child development specialist. This is a crucial stage of his life. The adults need to act like adults. But how do you protect a child when the world already knows his name? When every headline, every gossip post, and every YouTube video keeps dragging his story into the spotlight, legal experts say the court will likely call for a child custody reevaluation, this time with the biological father's rights in play. That means more hearings, more DNA tests, and more uncertainty about who will raise him. Travis Barker, who has cared for Rocky since birth, may no longer have legal standing, and the biological father, who reportedly wants involvement, might soon demand full recognition and custody rights. Courtney, meanwhile, is said to be emotionally drained, fighting to keep some control while surrounded by paparazzi and critics. She loves her son deeply, a close friend revealed, but this situation has spiraled beyond her worst fears. What was once her private world of motherhood has turned into a global scandal dissected by millions. And as the custody battle deepens, Rocky's future hangs in limbo, between 3 adults, countless legal motions, and a public that refuses to look away. The Kardashians have built empires out of publicity, but this time, the spotlight feels more like a curse. Because when fame collides with family, the ones who suffer most are often the ones who never asked for it. The fallout from Kourtney's confession has left fans wondering if even the world's most media-savvy family can bounce back from a scandal this raw. The Kardashians have survived almost everything: leaked tapes, divorces, public feuds, and endless tabloid wars, but this feels different. This isn't a PR stunt or a scripted reality show twist. It's a real-life crisis with legal, emotional, and moral consequences that reach far beyond likes and headlines. For the first time, even loyal supporters are asking whether the family's iron grip on their narrative has finally slipped. Kris Jenner, the mastermind behind the empire, is reportedly in damage control mode, holding private meetings with lawyers and publicists to minimize long-term fallout. Insiders say she's furious, not just because of the lie itself, but because it jeopardizes the family's carefully built image of resilience and unity. This is the kind of scandal that can't just be edited out of an episode, one insider said. It hits the core of what the brand stands for: family. Meanwhile, Travis Barker has retreated from the spotlight, focusing on his kids and career, choosing silence over spectacle. His next move could define how the public views him: betrayed father or co-conspirator. As for Courtney, sources close to her claim she's preparing to tell her side in an exclusive interview, but many question whether the world will believe her anymore. Can she rebuild her image after publicly admitting to lying about something so personal? And what will happen if the biological father steps fully into the picture, demanding recognition and rights? In the end, the scandal leaves one haunting thought: even in the glitziest corners of Hollywood, truth has a way of surfacing, no matter how long it's been buried. The Kardashian-Barker fairy tale might never be the same again. But one thing's certain: the world will be watching every single move they make next.